Continuing with the Proverbs for verse 21, though hand join in hand, the wicked shall not be unpunished, but the seed of the righteous shall be delivered. So, I think there is one indication that literally every single person gets in some sort of trouble from time to time. I think this is a safe thing to assume. So I think that the whole point is not to ever say, why me, why is this happening, or any kind of stuff. I think stuff happens to literally everyone. And it shows more of two different outcomes. Maybe, okay, when the trouble comes, those who are the wicked, even they come together and they do things together, but if they're wicked, they're still gonna be punished. And even they try to save one another, eventually it's gonna get punished. So it's important to see if somebody asks for help, and if you perceive that this is wickedness, don't join in hand, they're still gonna get punished. Like it says, even if you join hands, it's still a wicked going to get punishment. But if we do righteously, even if you go in trouble or some kind of trouble arises in whatever way, people do lie and do all kind of wrong things and deceive, but the Lord will deliver from that kind of problem. And it's important to walk in righteousness, and even whenever trouble comes, the Lord will see to it that we'll get set free, get delivered. So we don't avoid issues or problems. We will get through it and we will be delivered. So that's important to understand that trouble will come, but we will overcome. A problem will come, but we will overcome if we walk in righteousness of God. So that's important. So it's better to find out what the right thing to do in any given situation, and learn to choose those righteous ways when we know. Of course, if you don't know, then we just fall by default, but that's why we keep finding out. That's why probably listening this teaching about the Proverbs, that you found out that you may be tired of falling, and you finally want to see what's the right thing to do. So I think that's the right place to check is in the Proverbs. But continuing with verse 22, as a jewel of gold in a swine's snout, so is a fair woman which is without discretion. So this is very funny, like a picture. If you think about a pig with a beautiful golden jewelry around it. So so I think this is how we should see when the woman is very nicely put up and looks good, but man, if she behaves out of order, it's a pig nosely covered. So very, very strong picture, and sort of not to confuse, that don't mix the beauty for righteousness, or that it's a super good thing. The discretion, the ability to do things, without haste, not speaking hastily, not jumping to conclusions, and basically discretion means the freedom of actions, that you don't react suddenly either in anger or in frustration, whatever, but sort of to see what's actually happening and then respond accordingly afterwards. Because reacting always causes shame, because you don't know all the information needed in order to make the right decision or respond. So many times it needs to think for some time and then answer. So sometimes it's good to say, I don't know all the details, so I cannot answer to what you're just saying. I would like to know more. So that would be very discretion-like answer in whatever situation comes your way. So it's always a space in between responding, somebody says something or something happens, and then afterwards to choose the response, not to just jump right away on it. And that means discretion. Verse 23, the desire of the righteous is only good, but the expectation of the wicked is wrath. So I think that is very interesting in the sense that if we expect wrath or we broadcast wrath, actually that puts us in alignment with wickedness. So we need to learn to desire, only good for the people, for the nation, for whatever. Because if we just, desire wrath, doesn't matter how justified that wrath is. There's another Bible place says that the wrath of man doesn't work righteousness of God. So if we try to incur wrath, God cannot kind of do anything in that situation, because now we're sort of take control of that situation, even spiritually. So we tie our own hands in the wrong way, but we should, desire righteousness, and God's wrath can be, or God's righteousness can be unleashed on the situation. I've seen this in many different situations where I kind of humbled myself and I said, Lord, you deal with this. I have no idea how to solve this issue or problem with this relationship or person or situation. And then I see things just, gets resolved in sort of like without my intervention almost at all. I just see afterwards that it just got solved after prayer. I was like, oh, thank you, Lord, that I didn't get myself into the trouble. So, but when I do get myself into trouble and I get angry, sort of like a wrath, then, lots of other awful things come about. So it's that would put me in that moment in a wicked side. So I need to not justify any wrath of any nature. It's wickedness. I need to bring it to God, and then He deals with it, and that's much, much, much better. Verse 24, there is that scatters and yet increases, and there is that withholds more than is meet, but it tends to poverty. So I think this is shows to greed and stinginess. Scatter, it seems like giving. So when you're generous, and you give, of your time, of your efforts, of your talents, of your skills, of your money, of whatever. Of course, in a wise way, you don't just, give where you know it's going to be abused. But sort of, you are, see, if it's a good thing and God leads, you can give. It always tends to increase, because everybody sees, okay, you're generous, they will want to help you as well. And there is another Bible passage that says, give and it shall be given to you. Good measure, pressed down, shaken together, man give unto your bosom. And then I think there is the measure you give, the measure you'll receive back. So if you give little, you get little. If you give a lot, you'll get a lot. That's the sowing and reaping principle. And those who don't give, of course, they'll go broke, because in the end, everything is sort of like a flow of exchange. Like if you start harboring, and then you cut yourself off from the stream. So that's just what it is. If you think a river needs to flow, and if you let it flow and don't harbor, then it will keep flowing. But if you harbor, the river will find another way to go stream, but it won't go through you if you're harboring. So that's why it's important to be generous, to give, not to be stupid, but still see where the Lord leads, and give there. So I think in this way, you'll see increase coming and lots of good things coming to pass, and you will be really blessed. So that's what I want to share with you today, and God bless you.